Hey everyone, it's Lizzie. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing a tutorial video on how you can make your own mini cash envelopes as a printable. So if you are a creative person, if you have looked around in the budget community and you are inspired to just get started dipping your toes in creating envelopes or printables for yourself, in hopes that you can potentially make a profit on that, then I hope that this video inspires you. I wanted to show how you can make your own mini printable envelopes. So they have a tracker on the back, has a little flap, and this fits beautifully in my mini wallet. So you can see it here firsthand, just how nicely it tucks away. It doesn't get snagged on the zipper or anything like that, but I'm going to show you how you can make one similar if you are like me and like to have small wallets, small bags, compact. I hope this is helpful to you. So we're going to go ahead, jump on the computer. I'm going to share my screen on how you could do this along with me. So if you do enjoy this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. It really helps me out a lot to know to make more of these types of videos. So let's just go ahead and just share how you can make your own printable cash envelopes. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is go to canva.com, and it should look something like this. And on the right hand side, you're going to see this create a design. That is the first thing that you're going to want to do. And we are going to create a custom size. So you're just going to click this right here where it says custom size. Change it from pixels to inches. And for the sizing for the mini envelopes, it's going to be 4.5 by 6.5 inches high. So you're going to type that in, 4.5 by 6.5. And you're going to create a design. This is going to be the specific sizing for the envelope. And you can adjust the sizing here, as you see I'm doing in the bottom, to zoom it in just a bit. So this is your blank canvas. And now we want to go ahead and make the folds and the edges and lay out what our envelope is going to look like. So how is it that you can do this? And how do you know what is the spacing for your folds and for the actual envelope to hold the cash? So we size this 4.5 inches wide because we have to take into account the folds. So one of the folds will be 1/2 inch on one side and the other will be 1/2 inch on the other side to give you that fold. So that's going to be the baseline. We want to have those lines in place. So on the left hand side here, we have some different options that you can choose from. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on elements. And then down here, there's the categories that say lines and shapes. And you're just going to want to click on the line. So it brings you one single line right in the middle. But this is a little bit too thick, so you can change the thickness, the weight of that line, by clicking on these line styles, which is these 3 lines, as you see where my mouse is hovering. And the line weight is set at 4. Well, you don't want it to be that thick, so I would say maybe 2. You can change that to 2. So that way it's a little bit thinner. And now is where you want to map out like how your actual envelope is going to be shaped out. So we can change the direction of the shape, or in this case the line, by clicking this little arrow and you just swivel it like this. So you want to swivel it to a 90-degree angle. And we're going to create the edges of the cash envelope. And so I want to measure 1/2 inch from the edge. And you may not see this ruler here, So how you can have that be visible is by clicking this file and view settings. And then you can click this right here where it says show rulers and guides. So by unchecking it, you're going to see that it disappears. That's how yours may look, but I have mine to show rulers and guides. So by clicking that, you can see your ruler up at the top and on the side. And so one trick that I've found to be very helpful to give me that guide so that way I know I have the proper sizing is if you see where my mouse is, on the left-hand side, on the left side ruler, if I hover over it, it gives me that 2 direction arrows. When you click that and you drag it, you see how there's this purple line guide that shows up. So you can place this where you want the measurement to be. So if I want my line, in this case the envelope, the edge of the envelope to be 1/2 inch from the edge, I can drag that ruler so that way it gives me that guide right here. So it's at 0.5 from this edge on the left hand side. And I can also go ahead and click, hold, and drag to where I want the other edge of the envelope to be. Sometimes when there's something on the page, it'll do this lock. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So you can get it as close to the 4 inch right here as possible. So now I know that's how wide my envelope is going to be. I don't want it to go past that for the edges. So I'm going to put this right along where this guide that we placed is. And then you can just adjust the length of your line at this point. And then to get rid of this guide, now that we placed it, you can just click it, hold it, and release so that it's off the page. And then to copy this line, you could just select it, and right here, it'll pop up these options. And you can click on duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate that and put it where my guide is here. Now that I have it on my guide, I can click and hold the ruler line, drag and release. That way those guidelines are no longer visible on your page. And that can cause some confusion. So now you have the 2 edges, but we want to create the fold line. The top one here is going to be the front of your cash envelope. And this bottom half is going to be the back of your cash envelope. So just keep that in mind. So to distinguish the top, the front from the back, we should put a guideline, which is the fold line, in the middle. So again, under your elements, you can click on this line. You can change the weight of it. I can put it back to 2. And then if you see here, still in this line and style, you see that there's different options for the line. It could be the solid line, it can be a dashed line. Personally like the dotted line for folds. Then we want to place this so that it is in the center. So we're just going to put it here in the center. Drag it to each of these edges of the cash envelope. So now we know that this is the top or the front, and then this over here is the back. The whole edge, the whole paper here is your cash envelope. We're going to be utilizing this entire thing. So for this top piece, this is going to be where the top fold is for your cash envelope. So again, under elements, you're going to click the line tool, change the weight so that it is 2, and then you can create your little folds, your fold lines. So you can zoom in so you can see that you are connecting each of these lines as best as you can. And you're going to put this all the way to the edge of the paper, past the paper even. So this is going to be where your fold is. And this fold is the 1/2 inch. So this is where the 1/2 inch is. Then you can click it and duplicate that line. And you can drag and connect it to the edge of this. Have the measurements be approximately the same for this angle. So we have it 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in. So let's do the same thing. It is 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines in. Now we want to make sure that we have that top border. Okay. So let's grab another line. Change the weight of it to 2. And now we're just going to put this right along the edge of this paper and connect the lines. So now we have our top fold right there. You can start to see your envelope coming to shape. Now, a couple things that I want to bring to your attention as we are here is what is the sizing of your specific envelope, like where, once it's completely folded, how big should your envelope be? So the envelope, it should be 3 inches high. So this top fold here, we can actually, let's duplicate this because this is going to be a fold line. Let's duplicate that and put it right on that edge because we are going to fold this top piece. And then these side pieces actually are going to be folded, but it's okay if it's a solid line. You can do whatever your heart desires. If you want that to be a dotted line, you can do that as well. In this case, we'll just leave it as a solid line. Now, I want to make sure that I have this measured at approximately 3 inches. So from here, let's bring out our guideline. We're going to measure it to be 3 inches. So this here will be 1 inch, 2 inches, and then 3. So it should be a little down more. And we can even measure 3 inches from the bottom. Let's actually bring this down because it should be all the way to the end. So from the bottom, we can measure 3 inches. Let me move this line. Oops. Let me move this line. So we said 1, 2, and 3. It actually should be a little bit higher, but for some reason this keeps jumping and my dog is sniffing at the door. So I'm going to move this fold line right here. Okay. Hopefully you followed along with me on that part. If you have, then hit a thumbs up emoji in the comments. Okay, so the folds for the sides, we're gonna go ahead and make it right here. Let me zoom this in a bit. So you're only gonna put the fold lines on the front part of your envelope. So remember, the top is the front, the bottom is the back. So I'm just gonna copy this line. I'm gonna duplicate that and we're gonna drag it over here. And I'm just gonna make my lines to look like this for the fold. I'm gonna duplicate that, move it over here, duplicate this, move it up top, and just adjust this, duplicate this, and move it on this side over here. So now we have those folds. Just connect it. Zoom this in if you have to. Get up close and personal. So you can make sure this looks good. This. All right. So we have that. And now we just have to put another line on this edge over here. So I'm just going to duplicate one of these lines and make it shorter. Zoom in. Make this shorter. All right, and then now we're going to duplicate this line and put it on the other end. Okay, so there you have it. You've successfully, let me duplicate this and bring it to the bottom. Connect the lines. All right, now you have successfully created your outline of your envelope, which is exactly what you want to do. But here's a part that can be a little bit time consuming, but once it's done and you don't have to do it again, which is making sure that this outside piece that will be cut off is white, because the last thing that you want to do is waste ink. Since we're making this to be a printable cash envelope, you want to make sure that you're just not wasting ink. So I'm gonna click on the background. So when you click on it, it should highlight for you. And we're gonna change this to a random color. That way we'll see what needs to still be covered. So once you're there, I want you to go ahead and click that elements if you don't have it already selected. And we're just gonna select a square shape. So once you select the square shape, it's going to populate right on your canvas, and you're going to change the color if it is not yet white. So you're going to change that to white, and now we're going to go on the outline of your cash envelope. Zoom it in because we have to get up close and personal. And you're going to drag that shape along the outside of the outline you just created. Once you do that, you're going to want to drag it a little bit over the line that you just made. Now sometimes the line itself may be a little bit crooked, so we're going to try to fix that. Let's straighten this out because I think it's a little crooked for me. Okay. And with this shape selected, you're going to click this position at the top, and you're going to click this backwards or if it says send to back, click send to back. Position backwards. So now it is behind the line, and you see that that color has disappeared. Now I want to duplicate this, so click duplicate and move it to the other side. Put it pretty close to that line. Click position backwards, backwards, until you can't go back anymore. Or you can click send to back if it gives you that option. So we're going to click another shape, the square. Make sure you change the color to white. And we're going to do the same thing all around this template. So you can adjust the direction of where the shape will be and just go along the edges here. So you see I'm getting pretty close to that line. Click position and click to back or backwards until you can't go back anymore. Bring the shape in. Change the color to white. Change the direction of the shape. Go along the edge. Get close to that line. Position to back or backwards until you can't go back anymore. Repeat this step all along your template. All right, so I have successfully made the white background all along the outside of my template. So now I can click this middle part here and delete that pink background. So the reason why I said to do this is for this very reason. If you're wanting to have your cash envelopes have different backgrounds, then you're going to want to do what you just did. And the beautiful thing of this is that you can click this duplicate page right here, and it will make another copy of your blank canvas cash envelope. So this is super, super nice. You can change this titling to blank mini template for mini cash envelope. That way you can utilize this blank canvas time and time again if you're wanting to create new cash envelopes for yourself or to sell each month or the change of seasons. This is a great way that you can do that. So I really hope that this is helpful to you thus far. If it is, let me know. Let me know so that way I can make more of these. Okay, so we want to customize our cash envelope now. We've done the hard work, now is the fun part. And what I love about Canva is that you can use a lot of their elements for personal use. Make sure though that if you are planning on selling any of these envelopes, that you're checking to see if it allows for commercial use. You can upload designs of items that you've drawn yourself. If you have an iPad and use like something like Procreate, or it's something that you've purchased a license for commercial use if you are planning on selling it. A lot of these though, they do have that in the details that you can use as commercial use. I believe if you have the paid for version of Canva, some of them do come with commercial use, but make sure you just check the details on that. So a way that you can add backgrounds, let's say since Easter is coming up in April, let's say you want an Easter theme cash envelope for this season. So under elements, you can just type in something like Easter, right? And it's going to give you photos, it's going to give you some of these graphics. So let's say you like this, and here's where it gives you the details that it is free. So this is good to use. See more like this. And here it will give you designs that are similar to what you just selected. So what if you want the different eggs? Then you can click on those here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and go back. But yeah, let's say I want to use this. So I click it and it goes right on my canvas on top of our outline. So you can drag it to cover your entire envelope. But as you're dragging it, you're seeing, oh my, what am I gonna do? It's covering my design, my outline, the hard work that I just did. The beautiful thing about doing that work that we just did ahead of time is when you select this image, click position and click on to back. Look at that. It's sent it to back, but you can clearly see you have your outline only and nothing on the edges. So that way you're not gonna waste ink. And let's say you want to add a text on this, or if you just want to have that blank label looking element on here, again, you click on elements, lines and shapes. You can click see all so you can see what options you have for a label. You can have it be any shape that you want. I'm gonna go ahead and just click this one right here that has a little rounded edges, and you can adjust the size of your shape as you see here, me dragging it up and down with those two arrows. So we can make it a little bit thick, put it right in the center. You can either adjust it to the center the way I am doing it by clicking and holding your mouse, dragging it, or you can click this position and click center. Now I don't want this to be blue. I want it to just be a white background. So with this shape highlighted, I'm gonna click that and click where the color is, and we're gonna select white. But let's say I want to have it be a border around it so that way I know, oh, this is where my label is. With the shape highlighted, you're going to click those three lines and you're going to click on this solid line. You can choose dotted if you want dotted, dashed, whatever it is that you want. I'm just going to have it be, well, actually, I think that's a little too much. Let's just have it be the solid line, and the border weight, let's see what 3 looks like. So that's pretty good. You can also put the label on this flap here, so that way when it's folded, you'll know what that cash envelope is for, and you can make this a little skinnier. So you can have it be like that. So there you are. You already have the front of your cash envelope ready to go. But now you want to make a specific tracker. I'm going to go ahead and do that on this blank one. And I'll show you how you can group things so that way it makes it a little bit easier when you're doing multiple cash envelopes. So let's go ahead and make our little tracker. So I'm going to use this shapes elements. I'm going to click the shape. We're going to change the coloring so that way it is not blue. It's going to be white, but we're going to have an outline. So I'm going to click those lines, click the solid line, and change the weight to 2. So we're going to do this square outline. Gonna make it be however big that you want. Okay, so there you go. Now we're gonna go ahead and click the elements and click align. Again, you're gonna change the weight and you're gonna make your rows. Sorry if you hear my dog sniffing. I have the door closed and he doesn't like that very much. And we're just going to go ahead and make our lines. So you can click this and duplicate. You can click an element, hold your shift key on your keyboard and click the other, and it will highlight both of them. Then you can click that duplicate. Drag it, and then it will give you exact measurements for the spacing, which is really nice. But you can see here that one of the lines is a little bit longer. So I'm going to change that. Okay. Now I can go ahead and click one of the lines, hold your shift, click the second, third, and fourth all together. Duplicate that. So you have your lines. Now you want to, let's say, make columns for date, the description, what the amount was, and then what your balance is. That's typically what people do. So I'm just going to copy one of these lines, and I'm going to change the direction of that line to 90 degrees. And then we're just going to make our columns. All of this is pretty much just eyeball, and it's trial and error, guys. So it's okay if you don't get it right the first time, you can always redo it. I'm going to duplicate this, have this middle section be the description. Duplicate this. Make sure your line is not hanging off the edge. Again, you can always zoom in if you have to see. So that's a little bit taller. Let me zoom it in a little bit. All right. So this can be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's okay. Eyeballing it, that looks okay. To me, at least. And now you can add your header text. So you can either click this over here on the left hand side, click text, and then select whatever is up here for you. Or you can hit your keyboard, hit the T on your keyboard, and it would pop up your paragraph text like you see here on the screen. So I'm going to type in date. You can drag and shorten how wide your text box is, and you can drag it into the center of your column. Duplicate that and move it over. Drag this, change this to description, center it. You can duplicate that. Change this to amount. I don't know. And then duplicate this. And the last one can say balance. All right. But now we've run into a bit of a problem because remember the bottom here is the back side. So if we were to fold this, this is going to be upside down. So a way that you can group this is by, with your mouse, you're going to click, oops, drag, select this entire area down here. And this is going to pop up where it says group. You're going to click that group. So now this whole chart that you just made is one item. So now you can change the direction like we've been doing with our shapes to 180. That way it's going to be upside down on this screen, but it's going to be right side up when you print it. So that's how it's going to look. Now you can go ahead and copy by hitting Command C or Control C, depending on what your keyboard looks like. Copy this, or you can right click and click copy. Then on your image, you can go ahead and paste. And there it goes. You have your tracker right on your cash envelope. But now, how is it that you can get this design to fit nicely on an 8.5 by 11 copy paper? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So right up top, you're going to want to share, because we're going to export this. You're going to share it, and you're going to download as a PNG, and you're only going to want to download that one, or however many pages of envelopes you created. You're going to hit done, and you're going to click download. Okay, so that's successfully downloaded. Now you're going to go back to your home. You're going to create a design, and on this case you're going to click this worksheet where it's set as 8.5 by 11. So now you're back to a blank canvas, and you're going to want to upload your design. So you're going to click this upload button, hit upload files, and go to wherever it is that you saved your document. So here is my design that we just created together. I'm gonna just click it, and it's gonna go into my blank canvas, but it's not the right size. Just letting you know, it's not going to be sized exactly how we sized it when we designed our cash envelope. But a way that you can change the sizing here on the worksheet size is by adjusting this here with those two arrows, and you can see that black box is popping up where it's telling you what the width is and what the height is. So do you remember what we said we sized our image to? 4.5 by 6.5 high. So 4.5 wide. So you can drag this until you see it's saying 4.5 high, and there we are, 6.5, 4.5 wide by 6.5 high. Now, if I was just printing the one envelope, I'm just gonna put it right here in the middle. But if you are like me and you print multiple, you can drag this like this to a 90-degree angle and move it up, and you can have two fit on one page. If you had another design that you had made and you uploaded it, so I'm just going to use this one design that I made as an example. You can literally just click and hold the image, drag it to the sizing that you just sized, and release, and it's going to copy that. So that's a little trick that I like to share. Okay, so you have your cash envelope on your worksheet. How is it that you can export this to print it? Click this share, click download, change this from a PNG to the PDF print. Best for printing is what I like to use. And then you're going to click this download button. It's going to save it to your downloads. You're going to go to your downloads. Here it is, right here. Now I have a Mac, an iMac, so if you have a Windows, then this may be a little bit different for you. Sometimes if you click that download, what was up here, so if you click this, it's going to open up in Google. I don't like to do that because the sizing for me, for whatever reason, is always wrong. So I like to just open it up directly from my computer, and it will open up in the PDF format, like Adobe, whatever it is that you have. So now you have this PDF, and you're going to want to print it. So you'll go to File and Print, File, Print. And this is what mine defaults to. It defaults to scale to fit, print entire image. You do not want to do that because it is not going to be sized accurately. You're going to want to make sure that you scale it to 100%. Just scale it to 100% and then the rest is fine. Select your printer that you're going to print it out, and it's going to come out looking perfect. So you print that out and you'll be ready to have it look just like this. Then with it looking like this, you can go ahead and just cut the outlines of it, fold your cash envelopes, tape it on the edges, and it's going to fit nicely in your wallet. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any other suggestions on things that you've seen me make in the past and you're wanting to know how you can do it yourself, I'm not going to hold back, and I don't mind sharing information. If you find it to be helpful, if it can be beneficial to you, why should I just keep it to myself? So if you made your own cash envelope using this step-by-step process, I'd love to know. Maybe if there's a step I missed or that I should explain a little bit more, let me know, and I hope to be able to answer that for you in the comments. But thank you guys so much for being here, for being part of my journey on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye everyone.